Welcome to the Moonlit Lullabies of Willow Creek, a tranquil and enchanting sleep story crafted to gently guide you into a peaceful night's rest. If you find comfort in this narrative and wish for more soothing stories like this, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Before we immerse ourselves in the serene world of Whispering Glade, we'll begin with a few moments of gentle breathing guidance to help you unwind and prepare for our journey. If you'd prefer to drift directly into the story, you can easily skip ahead using the chapter timestamps provided in the video description below. Now, allow yourself to settle into a comfortable position, whether you are in bed or relaxing in your favorite chair. Let your body soften and release any tension, feeling the support beneath you. Adjust your pillows and blankets to create a cozy and peaceful sanctuary just for you. This is your time to release the day's concerns and welcome serenity into your evening. Let the gentle whispers of Willow Creek begin to soothe you, drawing you towards a state of deep calm and tranquility. Let us now take a calming breath together. Gently inhale through your nose, allowing the air to flow in softly and naturally, like the gentle current of Willow Creek. As you exhale slowly through your mouth, imagine it as a soft sigh, releasing any lingering stress or unease. With each breath, feel your body becoming more relaxed and at ease. Envision the soft, silvery moonlight filtering through the willow trees, casting a peaceful glow over the glade, and the gentle murmur of the creek as it whispers its lullabies. Allow these calming images to fill your mind and deepen your sense of peace. If your thoughts begin to wander, that is perfectly natural. Simply allow them to drift by, like leaves floating gently on Willow Creek, and softly guide your attention back to your breath or the sound of my voice. There is nothing you need to do now except listen and allow the story to carry you towards restful sleep. Feel the gentle rhythm of the glade, the soft pulse of nature as it breathes around you. Let it gently carry away any worries, any tension, any thoughts that no longer serve you. Allow yourself to become one with the quiet harmony of Whispering Glade. Now, let's begin our journey into this tranquil realm, where the Moonlit Lullabies of Willow Creek await to guide you to a serene and rejuvenating sleep. Chapter 1. The Weary Arrival. As the last rays of the setting sun painted the sky in hues of soft lavender and rose, Linnea arrived at the edge of the Whispering Glade. A gentle sigh escaped her lips, a sound barely audible above the whisper of the evening breeze. She had traveled far, her journey guided by a whisper of rumor, a fragile hope that spoke of a place where weary hearts found away from the anxieties that had become unwelcome companions. Before her, the glade unfolded like a secret, nestled in a gentle dip in the land. Willow trees, their branches heavy with years, wept towards the center of the glade, their silvery leaves catching the fading light. And there, just as the whispers had promised, flowed Willow Creek. It wasn't a rushing torrent, but a gentle stream, its waters moving with a soft, murmuring rhythm, like a lullaby hummed in nature's own voice. The air itself felt different here, lighter somehow, imbued with a subtle sweetness that eased the tightness in Linnea's chest. She stepped into the glade, the soft moss beneath her worn leather boots yielding with a quiet sigh. It was as though the very ground welcomed her, offering a gentle cushion to her weary feet. The scent of willow leaves, damp earth, and something indefinably fresh filled the air, a fragrance that soothed her senses and calmed the slight tremor in her hands. As twilight deepened, the nascent moonlight began to touch the water, painting shimmering pathways across the creek's surface. Linnea made her way towards the creek bank, drawn by its gentle melody. She settled onto a mossy hummock beneath the shade of a particularly ancient willow, its trunk thick and gnarled with time. The sounds of the glade were soft and comforting. The murmur of the creek, the rustle of leaves in the breeze, the distant chirping of crickets tuning up for their night song. There was a palpable sense of peace here, a stillness that was not empty, but rather full of a quiet, gentle energy. Closing her eyes for a moment, Linnea allowed herself to simply listen. The creek's sound was not just water flowing over stones. It was something more. It was a soft, continuous melody, weaving itself into the fabric of the evening. She felt a subtle vibration in the air, a gentle hum that resonated deep within her. It was a sound that seemed to speak directly to the weariness within her, a wordless promise of respite and calm. A small firefly blinked into existence nearby, its soft green light illuminating a dewdrop clinging to a willow leaf. Linnea watched it, mesmerized by its gentle dance. Small moments, small beauties, she realized, were often overlooked in the rush of daily life. Here, in Whispering Glade, time seemed to slow, each moment stretching out, allowing space for observation, for quiet contemplation. With a sigh of contentment, she leaned back against the willow trunk, the rough bark surprisingly comforting against her spine. The moonlight grew stronger, bathing the glade in a silvery glow. The creek's lullaby deepened, its gentle murmur seeming to weave around her, enveloping her in a cocoon of sound and peace. For the first time in what felt like a very long time, Linnea felt a flicker of genuine hope ignite within her heart. Perhaps, just perhaps, this Whispering Glade, with its moonlit lullabies and ancient willows, held the solace she so desperately sought. Perhaps here, by the gentle murmur of Willow Creek, she could finally find the quietude she had lost, and allow the restless worries that burdened her soul to gently drift away, carried downstream with the murmuring water, dissolving into the peaceful night. Chapter 2. Whispers of Moonlight. As the moon ascended higher in the velvet sky, casting a more pronounced silvery sheen across the glade, the lullabies of Willow Creek seemed to deepen, their melody becoming richer and more distinct. Linnea remained nestled against the willow, feeling a profound sense of relaxation settle over her. The gentle sounds of the creek were not just sounds anymore. They felt like a tangible presence, a soft embrace of sound that enveloped her and smoothed away the day's anxieties. After a while, a soft glow appeared through the trees, a warm, inviting light that seemed to emanate from deeper within the glade. Curiosity stirred gently within Linnea, a quiet prompting to explore further. She rose slowly, her limbs feeling pleasantly loose and relaxed, and followed the light, her footsteps making barely a sound on the mossy ground. The air grew subtly warmer as she approached the source of the glow, carrying with it the faint, comforting aroma of wood smoke and herbs. Rounding a cluster of willows, Linnea came upon a small cottage, nestled amongst the trees as if it had grown there naturally. Soft light spilled from its windows, casting a warm amber glow onto the surrounding foliage. A gentle wisp of smoke curled from its chimney, adding to the sense of peaceful domesticity. It felt like a place of refuge, a haven of tranquility, tucked away in the heart of the glade. Hesitantly, Linnea approached the cottage, drawn by an unspoken invitation. As she neared the door, which was fashioned from warm, dark wood, it swung gently inward, as if anticipating her arrival. Inside, a warm and welcoming scene unfolded. A cheerful fire crackled softly in a hearth made of smooth river stones, casting dancing shadows on the walls. The room was simply furnished with wooden shelves lined with jars and bottles, and comfortable armchairs draped in soft, woven blankets. Seated in one of the armchairs, bathed in the firelight, was an elderly woman. Her hair was the color of spun silver, and her eyes, a gentle blue, held a depth of kindness and wisdom. She smiled warmly as Linnea entered, a smile that radiated a sense of her calm and acceptance. "Welcome, dear one," she said, her voice soft and melodic, like the gentle chime of wind chimes. "I am Wren, and I have been expecting you." Linnea felt a wave of relief wash over her, a sense of being expected, of being welcomed into this peaceful sanctuary. "Linnea," she replied, her voice a little husky from disuse. "Thank you. I heard whispers of this place, of Willow Creek, and its lullabies." Wren nodded, her eyes twinkling with understanding. "Indeed," she said gently, "Willow Creek has songs for weary hearts, songs of peace, songs of rest, songs of quiet understanding." Wren gestured to the armchair opposite her, inviting Linnea to sit. "Come, warm yourself by the fire," she offered, "and tell me, what brings you to Whispering Glade?" As Linnea settled into the soft armchair, feeling the warmth of the fire chase away the lingering chill of the evening, she knew she had found more than just a place of rest. She had found a haven and a gentle guide to help her rediscover the quietude she longed for. The air in the cottage was filled with the soothing scent of herbs and wood smoke, a comforting blend that further deepened the sense of peace. Outside, the lullabies of Willow Creek continued their soft murmur, weaving their gentle magic into the very fabric of the night. Linnea, finally feeling safe and welcomed, knew that her journey towards inner calm had truly begun. Chapter 3. Dreamscapes in the Current. The cottage felt like a haven, filled with a gentle warmth that seeped into Linnea's very bones. Wren's presence radiated a quiet calm, and as she offered Linnea a steaming mug of herbal tea, a sense of deep peace settled in the small room. The tea, Wren explained, was brewed with herbs gathered from the glade, each one chosen for its soothing properties, to gently open the mind and prepare it to receive the creek's lullabies. The aroma was fragrant and earthy, subtly sweet, promising comfort and ease. As Linnea sipped the warm tea, Wren began to speak of the magic of Willow Creek. "The lullabies," she explained, her voice a soft whisper, "are more than just sound. They are whispers of moonlight and water, woven together with the earth's gentle breath. They carry a quiet magic, a way of reaching into the heart and soothing the troubled spirit." She described how the melodies could attune themselves to inner turmoil, gently unraveling knots of stress and worry. Wren suggested they move to the creek bank, to fully immerse themselves in the lullaby's embrace under the rising moon. They stepped out of the cottage, and the cool night air, carrying the scent of damp moss and willow leaves, refreshed Linnea's senses. The moonlight was now stronger, bathing the glade in a silvery luminescence. Willow Creek seemed to shimmer with an almost ethereal glow, its murmuring song more pronounced, more captivating. They settled by the creek, Wren guiding Linnea to a comfortable spot nestled amongst the willow roots. "Close your eyes, dear one," Wren instructed gently, "and simply listen. Let the lullabies wash over you, like the gentle current of the creek itself. Don't try to understand. Just allow yourself to be carried by the sound." Linnea closed her eyes, taking a slow, deep breath of the cool night air, and focused her attention on the creek's gentle murmur. At first it was just the sound of water, soft and continuous, but gradually, as she relaxed deeper, the sound seemed to shift, to deepen, and then visions began to form in her mind's eye. They were not sharp or vivid images, but rather soft, flowing landscapes of light and shadow. Gentle, rolling hills bathed in moonlight, tranquil meadows swaying in a soft breeze, a sky filled with slowly drifting luminous clouds. These dreamscapes were peaceful and serene, devoid of any harshness or suddenness. They shifted and flowed like the creek itself, one scene melting gently into another. As Linnea watched these inner landscapes unfold, she realized they felt strangely familiar, yet also detached, like watching scenes play out on a distant screen. She recognized fragments of her own worries within them, softened and muted, presented without threat or urgency. It was like observing her anxieties from a distance, seeing them as gentle currents within a larger, calmer flow. With each passing moment, as she listened to the creek and watched the dreamscapes drift by, Linnea felt a growing sense of detachment from her worries. They were still there, yes, but they no longer felt so sharp, so urgent, so overwhelming. A quiet sense of calm began to blossom within her, a feeling of spaciousness and ease she had not known for a long time. As the first dreamscapes faded, replaced by new, equally gentle visions, Linnea felt a profound sense of peace settle over her. The lullabies of Willow Creek, combined with the gentle guidance of Wren and the soothing herbal tea, were indeed working their magic. She felt herself drifting, not into sleep exactly, but into a liminal space between wakefulness and dreams, a place of quiet observation and gentle release. The night and the soothing magic of Whispering Glade stretched ahead, promising deeper exploration and ever-growing tranquility. Chapter 4. Unraveling the Knots. Night after night, Linnea returned to the creek bank with Wren, immersing herself in the moonlit lullabies and the gentle dreamscapes they evoked. The visions became more nuanced, more detailed, yet never lost their inherent serenity. They were like tapestries woven from moonlight and mist, depicting landscapes of her inner world in soft, muted tones. Wren explained that these visions were reflections of her own subconscious, gently surfacing worries and anxieties in a form that could be observed and understood without judgment. Wren's guidance was always gentle, never intrusive. She wouldn't interpret the dreamscapes for Linnea, but rather ask subtle questions, prompting her to observe and reflect on what she saw and felt. "Notice the recurring elements, dear one," Wren would whisper, her voice barely audible above the creek's murmur. Are there patterns? Do certain shapes or colors evoke particular feelings? Through these gentle prompts, Linnea began to recognize the subtle threads connecting the dreamscapes to her waking worries. She saw recurring images of tangled pathways, representing her feeling of being lost and directionless in her research. Softly muted storms brewing on distant horizons mirrored her underlying anxieties about the future. But even these representations of worry were rendered in a softened light, lacking the sharp edges and emotional intensity they held in her waking mind. The creek's magic seemed to act as a filter, reducing the emotional volume, making them easier to observe with a sense of calm detachment. Wren emphasized that the creek's magic wasn't about erasing worries, but about gently softening their edges, allowing them to be seen, understood, and ultimately released. Think of it like untangling a knot, Wren explained one evening as they watched fireflies dance near the creek. You wouldn't force it, would you? You would gently tease apart each strand, patiently working to loosen the tightness. And that was precisely what the lullabies were doing, gently teasing apart the knots of tension and anxiety within Linnea. Over the evenings, Linnea began to recognize specific patterns in her anxieties within the dreamscapes. Repetitive thoughts manifested as circling paths, unmet needs as barren landscapes, unspoken fears as shadows that lingered but never fully materialized. With each session by the creek, as she observed these representations with growing self-awareness and compassion, the knots of tension began to loosen. The circling paths started to open into wider vistas. The barren landscapes showed hints of green shoots emerging. The shadows began to dissipate with the rising moon. A feeling of self-compassion began to bloom within Linnea. She realized that her anxieties were not signs of weakness, but rather indicators of her deep caring, her desire to do well, her sensitivity to the world around her. The creek's gentle magic was teaching her to be kind to herself, to acknowledge her worries without judgment, and to nurture her inner peace with the same care she would tend a delicate flower. With each passing night, the weight on Linnea's shoulders seemed to lessen, replaced by a growing feeling of lightness. The constant low hum of anxiety that had been her constant companion began to fade, making way for moments of genuine quietude and inner stillness. The lullabies of Willow Creek were not just soothing her mind. They were gently nurturing her spirit, reminding her of her innate capacity for calm and peace. As the week drew towards its end, Linnea felt a profound shift within herself. The anxieties had not vanished entirely, but they no longer held the same power over her. They were like clouds in a vast sky, drifting by without disturbing the deep serenity beneath. The Whispering Glade, with its gentle magic and the wise guidance of Wren, was proving to be the sanctuary she had so desperately needed, a place where she could truly begin to unravel the knots of worry and rediscover the quiet strength within. Chapter 5. Carrying the Calm. After a week spent in the gentle embrace of Whispering Glade, Linnea felt profoundly transformed. The persistent weight of worry that had clung to her for so long had finally lifted, replaced by a quiet strength and a newfound sense of inner peace. The constant hum of anxiety had receded, making way for a spaciousness within her mind. a quiet clarity she had almost forgotten existed. The Lullabies of Willow Creek had worked their gentle magic, not by erasing her concerns, but by softening their sharp edges and allowing her to approach them with kindness and understanding. She understood now that the creek's magic wasn't some external force acting upon her, but rather a catalyst, a gentle key that had unlocked her own innate capacity for calm. The peacefulness of the glade, the wisdom of Wren, the soothing melodies of the water they had, all created a space where she could reconnect with her inner self. The quiet core of being that had been obscured by layers of stress and worry. The dreamscapes had served as gentle mirrors, reflecting her anxieties in softened forms, allowing her to observe them without judgment and begin the process of release. As the time approached for her to leave Whispering Glade, a gentle melancholy touched Linnea's heart, but it was a peaceful sadness, tinged with gratitude. She had found solace here, a deep and lasting peace that she knew would stay with her, even as she returned to her everyday life. She spent a final evening with Wren by Willow Creek, the moonlight painting silver patterns on the water's surface, the lullabies murmuring their soothing song. Wren, sensing Linnea's impending departure, smiled knowingly. "The creek has shared its gifts with you, dear one," she said softly, handing Linnea a small, exquisitely carved wooden flute. It was made of willow wood, Wren explained, wood that had grown close to the creek, imbued with its essence. "This flute," Wren continued, "holds a faint echo of the creek's lullabies. Carry it with you, and when you feel the need for calm, play a soft melody. It will remind you of the peace you found here and help you reconnect with that inner stillness." Linnea accepted the flute with deep gratitude, turning it over in her hands, feeling the smooth, cool wood against her fingertips. It was a tangible reminder of her time in Whispering Glade, a portable piece of its tranquility that she could carry with her wherever she went. She played a few tentative notes, and a soft, sweet sound, reminiscent of the creek's gentle murmur, filled the air, weaving itself into the night's quiet symphony. The next morning, as dawn painted the sky in soft pastel colors, Linnea prepared to leave. She embraced Wren warmly, expressing her heartfelt thanks for her wisdom, her kindness, and her gentle guidance. As she walked away from the cottage, turning to look back at the Whispering Glade one last time, she felt a deep sense of peace settle within her. The image of the glade, bathed in morning light, with Willow Creek murmuring its eternal lullabies, would forever be etched in her memory, a sanctuary of calm she could return to in her mind whenever needed. Walking back along the path she had first arrived on, Linnea carried more than just a willow flute. She carried the calm of Whispering Glade within her heart, a quiet strength born from stillness and self-compassion. She knew that life would still present its challenges, its anxieties, but now she possessed a new understanding, a new way of approaching them, armed with the gentle magic of Willow Creek and the enduring power of inner peace. And as she stepped back into the wider world, she carried with her the soft murmuring lullabies, ready to be rekindled whenever she needed to find her way back to that quiet center within.